we see this door and it's not locked. Mm-hmm. And we think it's locked, but we're too afraid to open it because we have no idea what's on the other side.
Right.
And so, yes, exactly. So, and then we think it's going to be the hardest thing ever. We have all these roadblocks in our head about why. And then we do it and we realize, oh my gosh, this is, it's the unknown. We fear what we don't know. So,
especially when, you find freedom on the other side of that door. Hi, I'm Caroline Howard, a biblical counselor and certified life breakthrough coach.
Remember, and I'm Chris Oneth, marriage and family therapist and executive director of Downey Counseling Associates.
Welcome to Our Next Question, where we attempt to answer the questions of life through conversations in psychology and Christianity.
And away we go.
Do we do this the poltergeist way?
Don't talk about poltergeist. This is a Christian broadcast. Oh my gosh. Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Oh my gosh, it's been so long.
It has been.
We haven't given up on you. We didn't just throw our toys down and stomp out of the room.
Well,
no.
I'm just kidding. We did it. We've had life.
We've had life, and it was a good rest. Lots of changes are happening.
Yeah. So I feel like we should kind of backpedal really quick, because our last episode that we actually sat here and recorded, we said it was right before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And we had said, and I don't know why I remember this, because I remember weird things.
Thank you for remembering.
We said we're going to do a rerun of last year's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Because we both really liked that one.
Yes.
And then we're going to be back for Advent. And we're going to do fresh Advent ones, which you argued about. But I was like,
wow.
No, I'm so ready for this. And then
we bailed.
And then just life went.
Yeah, it totally went that way.
I think imploded for both of us.
Sure.
And we couldn't do it.
Absolutely, we couldn't do it.
So we're grateful for Caleb for putting our last year's Advent episodes on.
Thank you.
Rerun for us.
So people could hear our voice whether they want to or not.
I do want to say, though, thank you to our faithful listeners, because I get an email every week that says how many people have downloaded our episodes. That number did not change with our hiatus.
Wow.
So thanks, people.
Yes. Ooh. Glad to hear that, we're... I don't know, doing something or of
course, half of that was me just going.
That's right. Download. Yeah. And as always, share with a friend. Totally.
So thanks, everybody.
Excuse me.
So
this episode is what have we been up to?
Yeah. Well, where the heck have we been? That's what I titled it.
Okay, that's fine. That's where have we been. So we're going to talk about some life-changing things.
Yep.
We're talking about some updates and where we're hoping to go in the future for 2025.
I don't think I'm used to saying 2025 yet.
Nobody ever is.
It takes a few months to get into it.
What's that?
It takes a few months before you're used to it.
Yeah.
I was thinking, especially people aren't used to saying 2025, especially if it's like 2023.
I mean, that's true.
Weird.
The only people who are used to saying 2025 are the people who are the high school seniors who graduate this year.
Oh my gosh.
They've been saying class of 25.
That's true.
For the last 18 years.
We are a quarter century away from the millennia.
A quarter century?
Yeah.
A quarter into it?
A quarter into this century, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant from the next.
That's what I thought too. That's why I was a little confused.
away from the past millennia.
Yeah.
In other words, the year 2000.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
3/4 of that to the next.
Well, only 75 more years to go.
We're not a math podcast, people.
Ew.
Okay, so before
I could ostensibly live to the next century. Oh, man, that's my goal.
You think you could go 75 more years?
75, 85, 95, 100, and I'd be 102.
No, you wouldn't.
What?
You're not 27
you were born
right now.
in 1999.
Never mind. I was born in... I'm sorry. I wouldn't be 102.
You would be like 120.
I'd be 128.
I mean, it could happen.
That's my goal.
I would
take care of yourself.
What's the...
I'd be 103. Or 4.
So he has a better chance than I do.
You do.
I'm taking my vitamins. I'm working
not doing
out.
That math.
I'm, living a clean life.
Living La Vida Loca.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, then my
So here's my question for
2080 maybe.
My opener.
Okay.
My opener. I'm ready to go now. I don't need to live till 100.
Okay. Goodness, wow. Deep stuff.
Right.
We'll talk about that.
Okay. What blows your mind?
Wow.
That's my question for this morning or this afternoon.
Did you already come up with an answer?
I did. On my drive here.
You got to. What?
I had a 45-minute drive here, so I had plenty of time.
45 minutes?
And I was eating my canes in the car, and I was thinking.
45 minutes?
My son needed his basketball shoes, so I had to go drive from my house to his school.
It blows my mind how parents cater to, well, whatever.
You could say that, and I could give you like my whole lowdown of why I did it. Because people would argue with me.
They're like, so he's not like, Mom, I forgot my lunch, and then you're
no, not at all.
Jumping out the door.
He was like, hey, would you mind dropping off my basket? If you can you drop off my basketball shoes?
Oh, so he was like open-ended.
He didn't need them.
Okay.
But he was like, I was like, well, what do you need them for? He was like, I'd like to have them for PE. We're doing basketball.
Oh.
And I didn't wear the right shoes. And I was like, I'm trying, I like to give my kids wins sometimes. Not give
Caroline, I really like that.
Thanks.
I approve. Like it matters.
I thought I was going to get a whole lecture.
No, but that's funny because I think in my younger days when my kids were that age, I was more rigid and I'd be like, well, you forgot them? Yeah. Too bad. And so.
Because if I couldn't, he left it open-ended and I could have said no and he would have been fine. And I know that's like the relationship that he and I have that I
would be like, he'll never learn if I keep bailing him out. But it wasn't a bailout.
It wasn't a bailout.
And
he's like, they're already in your car. I'm like, yeah, I know. They're stinking up my car. So I will gladly bring them.
But when you said, like, I want to, what would you say? I want to give him some wins.
In basketball right now, is where he's, he's struggling in other areas, but he's having wins in basketball. And so I'm like,
if I could do it again, I'd give my kids more wins. And I'd probably be, nicer to myself if I didn't have wins.
Yeah.
So, which would then enable me to give my kids more wins. It's perpetual kind of feeding on itself.
Yeah.
All right, Caleb, let's hear it.
Oh, I have to start.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is a fact I came across not long ago. I don't remember if I shared it with you before, but I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that there are more trees on Earth or more stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy?
Oh, gosh.
Stars in the galaxy.
Stars in the galaxy.
Okay.
Because doesn't the Bible say they're too numerous to count? Isn't there something in there?
That doesn't define anything.
There are around 100 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way.
Okay.
There are around 3 trillion trees on Earth.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that blew my mind when I heard that because I thought stars, obviously. But
wow.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm sitting here looking out the windows and I see a lot of trees.
Yeah.
But if it were nighttime and I looked up at the sky, well, I guess it depends. I mean, sometimes you don't see a lot of stars.
You see them when the Millennium Falcon goes to warp speed. That's something else.
That's when you see them.
That's something else.
Then you go to Endor.
Really?
There's all those trees there.
Yes. True.
Oh.
True. It's like New Jersey.
So there's more trees than stars
in our galaxy.
Okay.
Who counted all of those?
It's a guesstimate. Just like when they go on and on about evolutionary process and this, that, and the other thing, it's like, were you there? Did you observe it as a true scientist would? And they, anyway, not to say we dismiss everything scientific.
I don't know.
But
I want my job to be to count trees, and I just drive around.
I think you would not like that job.
1,475,263.
Oh, I lost count. I got to start over. Wait, what number was that? Was I on 3 or 4? It's like me taking my pills or my, my supplements. I don't take medication, but I'll be taking supplements. I'll be like, wait a second, what one did I just reach out of, or which one am I on? And it's not like if I take 2 fish oil, I'm gonna, sprout a fish head or whatever, grow gills. Yeah. So yeah, that's funny. Okay. So Caroline, what blows you away?
Okay, this is what was blowing my mind.
Thank you, Caleb, by the way.
Yeah, I like that. Now every time I see a tree,
that blows me away.
I
Caleb.
do feel like I'm going to look at trees differently because
I'm a nature guy anyway.
I awe over the stars.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's so many of them and they're so far away, but even more awe is the tree. There's a whole book. I cannot remember who wrote it. I will try to figure it out. About the correlation of trees in the Bible and to God, and it's actually really cool.
Oh,
you would like it. I should find it for you. Okay, what blows my mind? My navigation system in my car, or in any car.
Wait, was that what prompted this whole?
Yes,
okay,
it totally was.
Thank you, Tesla.
Because, well, any car. Because first of all, I'm the person, yes, that you put it up on your maps and it says you'll be there in 27 minutes, and I'm like, I can do that in 24.
Yes,
so
I love it.
Let's start there. But then as I'm driving and I'm noticing the time changing or things changing, I'm like, wow, that baffles my mind that someone has figured out the algorithm. So like coding.
It's the mathematicals.
Yeah. This coding algorithm to put in the system that knows how fast I'm driving, the traffic ahead, the road, all of that it knows, now she'll be there in 24 minutes instead of 27. That blows my mind.
That's so funny because I did the same thing on the way here to work today because I was running a little late.
Shocker.
And
oh, did that come out loud?
Wow.
Supposed to stay in my head.
Gesundheit. So, wow. So I was, and I put in the GPS to see what time.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I thought I was going to best the time. And sure enough, man, on the money.
Got you.
On the money.
That frustrates me to no end. Halfway there.
I break as many laws as I can trying to get here.
Halfway
and I have a
there,
car that can jump dividers and stuff.
Stay away from Chris.
Got to make some sacrifices here.
I hate it when it tricks you and you're like halfway there and it's like, oh yeah, you're going to make it ahead of time. And then as you get closer, the time starts adding again. And I'm like,
what?
You lied.
That would frustrate me to no end. That's part. I hate traffic. I loathe traffic. I like driving.
Okay.
I loathe traffic. And so part of the appeal of having a motorcycle is that you, in California anyway, you can lane split, which is essentially going in between cars. Now, hear me out.
Okay.
Because I do not lane split when people are going like 50, 60 miles an hour. But if they are stopped at a light, I invite myself to the front of the line.
Do you do that whole thing then where you look over and like wave at him?
I will.
Okay.
Sure. Unless, they scoot over to try and squeeze me out, then it's like, ooh, if you can see my eyes right now.
So that's actually legal in California.
What?
To lane split.
Yes.
I thought it was illegal.
No.
Okay.
There's some traffic knowledge for you. Some people get ticked.
Yeah.
Other people, like when I was on LA freeways, they will totally give you the candy.
Yeah.
They get over. They see Bay Area too.
Yes.
And not so much around here. But again, around here, we don't have the backup traffic like we do in the Bay Area on the freeway.
So when a car kind of gets over for you because they see you coming,
do you
give them the thank you?
Absolutely.
Like, that's the only reason I do that. It's
Really?
because I feel like
You're helping.
I feel acknowledged.
You're giving him the win.
Yes.
Well,
I'm giving them the win.
You were a motorcycle sympathizer.
They give me the win by like...
Gotcha.
I do the same thing with big rig trucks.
Humanity.
I'm the person that if a big rig truck is trying to get over, I will slow down and I will flash my lights so that... But my uncle drove a big rig truck, and so he was
like... Oh, there you go.
I would ride with him, and he would teach me that stuff.
That's kind of cool.
It was kind of cool.
Do you remember that? How old were you?
Totally. Elementary school.
Oh, wow. So you're way up high in the rig, and you're looking at people
fun.
Down, and people are going with the thing and the...
Yeah.
Nice.
All the
Ready
good
to
stuff.
go, rubber duck. You don't know what that means, do you?
I don't, but no,
Convoy,
I have.
Chris Christopherson. No. Rubber Duck was from a movie in the 70s, Convoy, or maybe it was the 80s.
Nope.
And the lead guy was Rubber Duck, which was Christopher Cross.
Okay. So I was Rubber Duck.
Anywho.
Okay.
What blows me away?
Yeah, what blows
your mind? Is that what you want to know?
What blows your mind?
Oh, what blows my mind? Well, it wasn't the first thought. The first thought was like God's creation.
Okay.
Like when I was on top of Half Dome and stuff like that completely floors me. Blows my mind. And then, when I'm out in nature and creation and on the coast or on the motorcycle up in the, boondocks out there, that's what blows my mind. That's the first thought that I had. And then the second thought reminded me that some of those most godly things that should not be discussed in polite society.
I was wondering if you were going to mention that. The unmentionable.
There you go.
You mentioned the unmentionable.
Sorry. Caleb may edit that out. So he's
Caleb's like, he doesn't edit any of our stuff out. He's like, that's on you guys.
Everyone needs to see who Chris really is.
Pretty sure they have.
Exactly. This guy's gonna say too much one of these days, and he's gonna confess himself. Okay, so what's been going on? So the last recording was before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And then the Thanksgiving came. The holidays moved into different things. So I'll start.
Okay. You lost some things.
I had surgery. It was unexpected. I had my appendix taken out, but I didn't just have it taken out. Symptoms started to show themselves like 2 days before, and then the day before it got really bad, and then 2:00 Thursday morning, which was Thanksgiving, the pain in my side was not going away, and so I Googled things.
As one does.
And it said, "Get ye to the hospital." And so it said possible appendix. And so I said, okay. So I went and told Mel. I think she was awake, or I woke her up and said, hey, got to take myself to the hospital. She totally offered. Thank you.
Wait, you took yourself? You
didn't
let her take you?
No.
Why? Oh,
she was in bed.
That goes into our next episode.
No, that's funny you said that. No way.
Yes.
I'll see you and raise you.
I'm making a note.
So I drove myself to the hospital because she was in bed and it was cool. And I figured, look, they'll either tell me you're fine, go home, here's some pills, whatever, or it's something. And so they told me, yeah, you have appendicitis and we need to take it out. So 9:00 in the morning.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And the sad thing is, we were supposed to go to Monterey to my son's house. He lives steps from the ocean.
So sad.
He lives in a special pocket of Monterey called the Del Monte neighborhood, and where for some reason they don't get cloud cover or fog. So it was a beautiful sunny day. I don't know.
Oh, just never when you're there they've had cloud cover or fog?
No.
Wow.
And so instead of having Thanksgiving dinner, I had broth. And not just broth, hospital broth.
Do you know what flavor it was? Was it
was
turkey
some
broth?
Beef flavored.
They didn't even give you turkey broth.
I know. And the other thing they gave me broth, and they gave me like fruit juices and all this sugary stuff, and I wanted to slap it off the plate and be like, "What do you think you're doing?"
No Jell-O?
They did give me plenty of Jell-O. Wee. No, life happens. In a way, it was a blessing because I only had to take one day off of work Wednesday.
Oh, that's good.
And so,
yeah, but you kind of came back too soon.
No, I didn't.
Didn't?
No, I mean, I had this weird drain thing connected to me, which I had this crazy drain thing, like this tube coming out of my body, into a circular drain thing. I've seen it on many different. I saw it with my sister years ago.
Was it like a bag?
It wasn't a bag. It was
was it?
It was a hard container.
I didn't look.
Squeezy container.
You tried to I tried to make you look, but I would not look. Like
That thing drove me insane because you had to sleep with it, right? So I'm turning over in my sleep. I'm like, where is it? Where is it?
Because you don't want to pull it out accidentally, or
lay on it, and I don't know, weird stuff happens. Who knows? So but again, in my mind, I'm continually saying, okay, I got one more day with this thing, or 2 more days. Now I one more day, and so they had scheduled me on like a Tuesday or something, Wednesday or whatever, to get it taken out. And so I prepare myself. I shift my schedule around for that day. And in the morning, I get on my computer onto the Kaiser website to make sure and confirm my appointment. And lo and behold, it was the day before and I had missed it. I had missed my appointment. And I kid you not, you guys, I nearly had a nervous breakdown.
Oh.
I broke into a sweat. I was like, and then I grab on the phone and try to search the surgery department, and I keep calling, and it's the national number that runs you through all this stuff. I'm like, no, I don't want that. Thank the Lord, I got to the surgery center, and she said she could take me that day.
Oh, good.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And she went and ripped that sucker out of me, and it caused something visceral. I don't know if you know about deep visceral pain. No, probably not.
Not me.
Like I have no room to talk when it comes to women who have had children. But yes, so she took this thing out of me, and it hit a nerve inside of me that it was electric. Must have been the vagus nerve. I don't know.
Oh.
But I went, whoa, and she goes, I have it right here. I have it. I got it out. And I'm like, oh, thank God. After that, I could walk without impingement.
That's amazing.
It was incredible.
You know what baffles my mind, though, is that you had surgery. You had this, not a device, but this thing left in you after surgery.
I know.
You missed the appointment.
Yes.
You would think that they'd call you and be like, hey, sir, that thing needs to come out. It's not healthy or safe for that to stay in you.
It's like, oh, we forgot. It's just like, you forgot.
Like, don't they want it back? I mean, I don't.
I'm sure. Yeah. But after that, like I said, I could walk normal. It's amazing what little tube shoved inside of you, what room it takes up and nerves it hits. Because before that, it was like I couldn't step normally, and if I had the least amount to go to the bathroom or anything like that, it was debilitating.
I saw you walk.
Yes, that's where. That's where you came back to.
Yes, and I was like, "What is he doing here?" You were like holding on to the walls and hunched over, and like you had just got off a horse or
right.
something.
But luckily, I have a job where I can sit and be present with people. I'm not
and
like,
show them, hey, look at my pouch.
Swinging an axe. No, I wasn't showing them my medical stuff. Jeez. And so now I'm a senior citizen talking about my medical things. So that's what happens. But so for the entire month of December, they told me I could not work out.
Where you were. Well, let's establish something here first.
Yes.
Had you been working out?
Yeah, I had.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Madam.
I didn't know. I know this can fluctuate. So we were at a point where you were working out.
Well, and we all know December is pie month. So I not only was not working out, I was completely devouring any sort of sweet or whatever that was in my vicinity.
Well, you had some making up to do because you had to eat broth on Thanksgiving.
Oh, geez. Yeah, right. And I was very entitled. I deserve this.
Yes,
well,
totally.
Anyway. So, so I'm eating whatever pie. I'm, drinking eggnog. And I may have had, a few cocktails here and there.
Okay.
For the entire month of December. And this is why I love New Year's so much. Because it's a rebirth. And in a way, it saves me from myself because my attitude is, oh, thank God I can get back to my routine. Back to a healthy routine. Not only that, I heard a health guy on a video one time say, in the not too distant past, I heard this, but he said people really get wound up about how they can eat during the holidays.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, I got to behave myself during the holidays. And his line was, look, I don't care what you eat from Thanksgiving to New Year's. What I'm really concerned about is how people eat from New Year's to Thanksgiving.
All those other months.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used that to completely go off the edge in December.
Do you have a pie count? Because last year we kind of had a pie count.
I must have had 5 pies.
That's not too bad.
Well, and my wife helped. So she I would bring home another pie and she's like, Chris. And of course she would not refuse a pie.
Well, you can't refuse pie.
I know.
Pie is good.
Started with blackberry. It was amazing.
Now I want pie.
So I am back on the wagon. It's January. Okay. I'm eating right. I'm working out.
You're doing dry January.
I did mostly dry January.
Okay. You did. It's still January.
It did rain today.
So what happened is I went 17 days. I did not have a drop.
Okay.
I had a cocktail at a friend's house, and it just about I had one cocktail and this is over a 5-hour period.
Yeah.
One cocktail, glass of wine. And then I could not finish my second glass of wine. And if you know Chris Oneth.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. And what scared me about that is, and this is very convicting because I built up such a huge tolerance. Mm-hmm. And I don't drink until I'm like, never.
Yeah.
But I built up such a huge tolerance where I would have a few cocktails and it would not even affect me.
Yeah.
That's disturbing.
I think it's interesting with the tolerance thing is that people will be like, oh, but I have such a high tolerance, so I can drink a bunch. And I'm like, but how did you get there?
Yeah. And your liver has to process that and stuff like that. And so one of the things that I got into in the month of December actually beginning January is I reread the book Celebration of Discipline by Richard Foster.
It's a good one.
I read it in my 30s and was blown away by it. And this second time I listened to it, and it was just like, wow, that is so valuable. And being able to practice like silence and solitude, fasting, prayer, and be able to, and it's a holistic thing. I would love to have a podcast in and of itself on that.
Let's do it.
We should.
Come make it on our list.
Okay, then thanks.
What's the title of that one?
Celebration of Discipline.
Okay.
What are the disciplines?
Okay.
Anywho. Well, so I'm gassed. That's all. That's all I have.
That's all you got?
That's all I got. that's what I've been up to.
That's why you weren't here? Jeez.
Yeah, right. I'll see you and raise you.
Caleb, what have you been doing?
Well, maybe I've been slightly inspired by Chris, but I've started taking more adventures to places. So I'm actually going on one this weekend to Half Moon Bay.
Nice.
To stay in an Airstream off the grid.
Nice.
On the coast. So
Caleb, right on.
In an Airstream? Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yep. So should be cool.
That is so cool. So had you said inspired, is this your first adventure? Or
so this is my third.
No, jeez.
Yeah. I probably talked to you guys about the first one because that was in like August of last year. I went to like Bodega Bay area,
awesome.
Sonoma County. And then the last one I did, I stayed in a tiny home in the hills of Livermore.
Nice.
So
these adventures are including tidy places to live.
Pretty much, yeah.
To stay. Awesome.
It's always been something that I loved and had an interest in. So I'm like, I got to go experience that.
Tiny houses or just staying in crazy places?
More so tiny houses, and now it's become staying in crazy places. So.
Oh, good for you.
And then just exploring the area, seeing what natural things are around.
Oh my gosh, Caleb.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
Caleb, this is awesome. And I'm going to lean on you and pressure you to get a motorcycle that you can take off. And I will be your Yoda, or no, not your Yoda, your
Godfather.
Obi-Wan.
You could be Yoda like in the sidecar.
There you go. It's kind of bigger than Yoda. But anyway, yeah.
You can't lane split with a sidecar.
No, that would be hard. But that you talk about, yes. So good for you. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for you.
It's been a good way for me to get out of my comfort zone.
Good.
And they're all like solo trips, and it's good for me to just spend that time like investing in myself and
so explain the comfort zone there. I really
Yeah, well, I think like when we did like the episode for each of us, one thing I talked about was how it's really easy for me to stay in a place of comfort.
Yes.
And not get out of my like normal routine. Okay. And so this is a way for me to like push myself to a place I've never been, try things I've never done before, and
awesome.
Yeah, see what happens and lean into.
And what have you been finding out?
I think I've learned that I'm more capable than I thought I was.
Nice.
And it's also just it's cool getting to see different places and different things.
Isn't
and
it?
Get like a bigger sense of the world. So,
oh my gosh, Caleb, right on.
Yeah.
I want to know where the tiny homes are that you've been to. I could do a tiny home.
And
a tiny tent? No.
One thing I do is I do like photography and video of the places
awesome.
I stay in, so I'll have to send those to you to.
Yeah.
Oh, love to. Yep. Love to see that.
Have you heard of Dillon Beach?
I don't think so.
It's north somewhere. Oh. But they have tiny homes, like a whole row of them that they like right on the beachfront.
Okay.
They have a little cafe. I've never been there, but I follow them. Oh. They have a cafe, as you would say it, a cafe.
A cafe.
And they have a nice
Dillon
restaurant.
Beach.
Dillon Beach.
Well, now I'm going to, what's going to happen is I'm going to announce it on our podcast and they'll be swamped. They'll be able to raise their rates, No,
but I've never been there, but I don't know where I even heard about them. And I follow them on Instagram and I just look at their tiny home and they have like little patios with little fire pits out front of each tiny home. And I'm just like,
super rad. Okay. It's just north of Stinson. Hold on. It is.
It's like a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, it's outside of Tamales Bay, which is off the Highway 1.
Okay.
And this is cool.
Yeah.
It's at the tip of Tamales Point, which is also where Point Reyes Lighthouse is, if I remember correctly. Okay. Yes, it is. There it is, Point Reyes. Yeah, it's super cool over there. I've taken my mountain bike over there.
Okay.
Not to Dillon Beach, but that's good to know.
I think we should do our next podcast there and we each get our own tiny home.
Perfect.
We get to sit on the patios and just wave at each other.
So part of when we go on conferences, I'll obviously have the business pay for it, but there are times when we've gone to places, Mel and I, and I'll have the business pay for it because I talk about the healthy benefits of going to places like Dillon Beach and allowing ourselves that sort of like blessing.
Yeah.
And being in that quiet space and everything else. So awesome.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Look at you killing it.
I feel inspired.
That's exactly what the hope is.
You
Good.
inspired him. You didn't inspire me, but Caleb did.
Yeah, wow.
It's a chain
I've been
of
telling you this
inspiration.
forever.
You're kind of demanding though when you tell me.
Yeah, it's true.
Because you make fun of me in it. It's like Caroline.
no.
Caroline would never. Oh, Caroline.
Mine's more like inviting.
Okay, I got to give you some wins.
Where that was more inspiring. Yeah. Can I have some wins?
You can. Go ahead,
Okay.
winner. No.
Thanks for saying winner and
Okay.
winner.
Okay. So awesome. Well, Caroline, what have you been up to?
Nothing.
Okay, moving on.
Do you like that?
That's true.
I'll give the short story. I mean, everybody heard me share my story and knows that I've gone through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like over the last couple of years, God's been preparing me for something bigger than I thought. And so, I mean, I'm thinking the beginning of November, God just pretty much opened up the door for me to walk away from my marriage and move out and go through the whole divorce thing. So,
okay.
I literally, when we were supposed to record that November podcast, I said, I get keys and I'm moving that day. Sorry.
Wow.
Can't record a podcast. So,
and you
that's
are,
what I've been doing.
It's interesting because as you've talked about this, it's been years in the making.
Yeah, years.
And it's there's an irony there because you are a doer.
I'm a doer.
You are a doer, except in this like realm.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I'm not going to get too in depth yet. I mean, eventually, when I feel more freedom to do that,
Sure.
and on another podcast, I will.
Fair enough.
It is interesting how, which I'm sure I'm going to say this, and women who've been in my position are like, yeah, you don't see it until you're out of it.
That's true.
And you have the bird's eye view.
I totally confirm that.
Yeah. And so I think that for a lot of years, and I've also learned, just through my whole healing journey, like trauma bonding and and where that was in my life and how that blinds you and stuff. And so I think that I can easily sit here right now because it's only been a couple of months since I've been out on my own and it's been really great. And I can sit here now and go, man, I wish I would have done that sooner. And I also know I wasn't prepared or ready to do it sooner.
So adding to that, I would say that comes with a lot of different change. Like Caleb, even with taking these little adventures, it's like we see this door and it's not locked. Mm-hmm. And we think it's locked, but we're too afraid to open it because we have no idea what's on the other side.
Right.
And so, yes, exactly. So, and then we think it's going to be the hardest thing ever. We have all these roadblocks in our head about why. And then we do it and we realize, oh my gosh, this is, it's the unknown. We fear what we don't know. So,
especially when, you find freedom on the other side of that door.
Okay, man, I have so many questions, but yes, that's another podcast.
I mean, I'll allow a few questions.
Opening the door, opening the floor for questions.
So
okay.
That's where I've been.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
And just, working through that with my kids and putting my house together.
And so, you got a new place.
I did get a new place.
And again, you're great. A doer. So it's like the first 4 hours there, you were like, you whipped it together.
Well, I had amazing friends there.
Oh, that helps.
You were not part of that.
Oh.
I'm a very, I don't know what personality would say that, but I'm very much so whenever I've moved.
Yes.
I unpack and I get it all.
Wow.
And a lot of that is like, I want to get back to living.
Yeah, totally.
And
that makes sense.
Peace. And I don't want to live out of boxes. I don't want my kids living out of boxes. I don't want to live out of boxes. That. So amazing friends who, your wife included, who came over and helped put furniture together.
And she even provided some artwork.
She did. Oh my gosh. She painted me the most beautiful piece of art. And
Your reaction, and by the way, everybody else's reaction to her artwork totally made me look bad. No, because I don't know if it's because I'm so used to it, but I don't want to ever get used to it. I want to still be blown away. She is super capable and talented.
She is.
And so she's painting these things, and I'm like, oh, there's Melanie painting stuff again.
Yeah.
And then you saw it, and you're like,
It was very emotional. Just the thought that someone would spend time.
Oh my word!
On
We're going to
doing
get into
something.
this.
I know, for me, I know, because I got a lecture about this past week at work from you about how I don't let people do things for me.
Ooh, we'll get to that.
Okay, that's another episode.
So anyway,
what are Caroline's issues? Maybe we should do a whole episode on all of Caroline's issues.
We have been for the past year and a half. No, I'm just kidding.
I thought that was Chris's issues.
my issues with Caroline.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. This year, we're going to focus on my issues with Chris.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, okay. Well then, hey, and oh gosh, again, there's so many. So you have this new, I mean, it's a type of, you said freedom.
Yeah. Peace.
And independence.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah. Okay.
I think peace, that peace that, God talks about, the peace that surpasses all understanding.
Sure.
Is like just this rushing waterfall over, I feel like, me and my home and my kids.
Yeah. It's a cool home.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's a cool little home. Yeah.
Such a God thing.
Oh.
Like that. It's like he blows my mind. He blows my mind every day. That's what should have been.
Oh, I missed that answer. Jesus. Yeah.
The best one. Because I knew it was time to leave. I started looking for a place. We kind of ended up at this place of, I can't find any. I mean, renting is hard right now.
It is hard.
And expensive. Yeah. And so I was like, hey, maybe we'll wait till after the holidays and then I'll resume looking after the first of the year. But was on Zillow like every day. And then
it is like
was
demoralizing
anxiety.
to do that. It's like so like
yeah, and I
can only afford a shack in the middle of,
I know. And I'm like moving out as a single woman with 2 kids, one with disability. Like I there's things I needed.
Yes.
And I just heard God tell me, get off the app and pray.
Oh,
and
my
he was
word.
Like, and I need you to be specific. And that was a huge leap of faith for me.
Wow.
Because I think we've had this conversation of my prayer life. I don't really ask for things for myself.
Yeah.
And then to be specific, and I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
And so I got very specific, down to like what I wanted the neighbors to be like, what I want, specific things I wanted in the house. I mean, I was like, I'm going to dream, God. I'm going to go big.
Right.
This is what you keep. And so
So no meth labs.
No meth labs.
Bikers.
Yeah.
Okay.
None of that. I mean, I was very specific, prayed for all these things. Probably like a month later, I kind of felt God being like, hey, you can kind of look, but let's not be obsessed.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
So I was like, okay. And you need to still be praying.
Yes.
Like,
okay.
Don't stop praying just because I'm like, you can go back on Zillow. And I am telling you, Chris.
Wow.
Dang, he did it.
Well,
like so many things where I'm like, that's literally what I just prayed for.
Oh my word.
And like, oh, that's not exactly how I prayed for that, but that totally feels that space of what I was praying for. Oh my
gosh. And it is an awesome place.
Awesome. Great
gated community.
Yes.
Which I think is great for a single mom.
Yeah.
I mean, that's super needed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, my kids love it.
Teeny tiny yard that you don't have to.
I know. It's like I got a putting green in my backyard.
Oh,
even better.
Yeah,
you can go out there and golf.
There you go. Yeah, it's a great little site. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah,
and it's
perfect.
Roomy inside. You got plenty of room. You got great kitchen space. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right then. So much so that you're having us over for the Super Bowl.
I am because the Chiefs. Go Chiefs. My Chiefs are in the Super
Eagles.
Bowl.
Go Eagles.
Okay. You better bring your Eagles stuff because my house is going to be decked out in Chiefs stuff.
I have no Eagles stuff. I'm a Niners fan, and they beat the Niners.
Well, wait, what's the date of the Super Bowl?
The 9th.
So this will be coming out
Sunday.
The day after the Super Bowl.
Oh, it will be.
Right?
So y'all might be making fun of me for saying go Chiefs. I doubt it though, but you might be.
Hey, oh my gosh.
It could happen.
Well, they're doing something right. I mean, they keep making it.
I know.
Golly.
Yeah, so that's where we've all been.
Okay,
Now
well,
we know.
where are we headed?
Where are we headed?
Yeah. You got to let the viewers know what the plan is moving forward.
So we are moving to a slightly different format in where we're not going to be publishing every week. We're going to do 2 episodes a month. So essentially every other week.
The second and fourth Mondays.
Second and fourth. Thank you.
Yeah. Because
if there's a fifth Monday, you're on your own. No.
But you all apparently like to re-listen, so just go back and keep re-listening.
There you go.
The fifth Monday should be like a Chris on the road kind of episode or something like that.
We might come up with something. Stay tuned.
Go.
There could be something.
Well, now
fun
that Caleb's on the road.
Caleb and Chris on the road.
What does that mean? Oh, good. I get the 5th Monday off. It'll just be Chris and Caleb. Totally down.
Until we get Caroline in on it.
And then when Caleb gets a motorcycle, it'll be the adventures of Chris and Caleb.
You're going to have to talk, I think, my parents into that first.
Come on. Yeah. So a couple things that have happened that's going to play out in the future.
Yeah.
And that is, it's bittersweet, but Caroline has
I forgot about this.
Moved on from Downey Park Counseling Associates.
I have. I've gone out on my own.
And she's going out on her own.
I'm like a big girl, just all these.
Wow.
Everybody, I'm like, oh.
So are you? But now you're not necessarily getting your own office.
No. At this time, I'm just doing totally everything telehealth.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And so this has just kind of been a dream again.
Right on.
A dream of mine for a while.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. And I really, as I've done more schooling, done more classes, gotten more certificates, and learn just different modalities of helping people, I want to be able to combine all of those modalities, especially for women who have gone through betrayal trauma.
Wow.
From infidelity in marriages or addictions in marriages and stuff. And just to be able to really do like counseling intensives. So not just 45-minute sessions, but maybe like 3-hour sessions.
Cool.
Where I'm not saying, we're done, you have to leave. Oh, I see that you're in a state of your whole nervous system. It's just now crashed, but you have to leave. Where we can work on that whole body healing.
Love that.
Especially for women going through betrayal trauma, your body's just crashed.
Yeah,
you have no sense of safety within yourself or outside of yourself.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to be able to do that for women.
And part of your focus is the somatic.
Yeah, the somatic work
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Working with internal family systems and parts work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm super stoked.
And you're, of course, a doer. So you're constantly getting, going to trainings and getting all this stuff. And wow. I mean, honestly, you've come quite a long way. And I don't mean that to sound like...
No, I don't take it that
way. When we brought you on, you were this, okay. But, honestly, some of the people around... I don't want to say Downey Park, but there was she's not a licensed therapist. And there was some weird feelings. Didn't take very long before they realized, you got the juice. So
I actually know what I'm talking about.
Potentially, yes.
Sometimes.
No, and so I'm super excited for you that
Thanks.
you're kind of, and that can be scary too, venturing out on your own.
Yeah.
It's the behind the door that you don't know what's on the other side.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things. You just keep paddling to the next boat, and you find that I made it.
Yeah.
So yay!
It's pretty cool. And I couldn't have done when I first started counseling, biblical counseling, and then even doing public speaking. Our old pastor, he was like a mentor, and I couldn't have even gotten into that boat without him guiding me.
Right on.
And I even feel like now getting into this next boat, I couldn't have gotten here without spending the last 6 years at Downey Park.
That's awesome.
With all of you guys.
My gosh.
Every single one of those therapists there has touched my life and helped me grow and been a listening ear. And I'm that's the hardest part. I'm going to miss everybody.
Because I went for a walk during lunch the last day she was at the office, and I barely got in, and then she's handing me this key, and I'm like, what? This is happening now?
I know, it was done.
Oh, anyways.
And I thought I was good until I walked out the back door towards my car and I lost it. I was like, okay, this is more emotional than I thought.
And that's another thing. You will be absolutely a missed presence. I know Nicole is going to go through withdrawals.
I'm going to come back, and I told her that little chair is mine. I'm going to come and sit in the office and just bug her.
Cool. Nicole's our admin.
Yeah. I'm going to come back and bug everybody.
Nice.
I don't live that far away.
That's true.
My daily walk.
So there is a going away lunch we're having for you tomorrow.
I'm super excited.
So yay.
That's where I got my lecture.
Your lecture?
You lectured me over the lunch.
Oh, yes. Thank you. What was that about? No, we'll talk about that later. Okay. So that's one of the changes is Caroline is got her big girl pants on now. And she's
flying solo.
She's,
flying solo.
Leaving the nest. And we're super excited for her. It's one of those dual feelings where it's like, no, I don't want to see her go. But at the same time, I want you, I'm talking about you like you're not here. I want you to experience all the blessings and the benefits of, being your own boss. I think that's kind of how you're bent.
Well, thank you.
All right, boss lady.
I really appreciate that.
Okay, then.
We call me that from now on, boss lady.
Boss lady.
I've always called you not
What's
my boss.
The feminine of hefe.
No. Oh, yeah, hefe.
Heffa? No, I don't know.
Sounds
hefe. Like heifer.
It does. I never understood that how in Spanish boss sounds like a fat cow.
Jefe. Anyway, some of what I would like to see, we've talked about this before, is our podcast having a dedicated website and all kinds of different resources that we can develop.
Yeah.
We'll collaborate on and all that other stuff. So look to that. Downey Park is expanding also in the sense that we are taking a lot more insurance, including Health Plan of San Joaquin, all that stuff. Nice. And so there's changes on both ends happening here, but we want to keep going on this podcast so we can, in a sense, be in touch with y'all.
Yeah. And then that way, you get to see me at least once a month.
I know. I can't let you get away with whatever it is you're getting away with.
You're so thrilled. Okay. So
there you have it.
Did we answer everything?
I hope
we answered everything. If we didn't, in our show notes, it'll tell you how to connect with us and you can ask us questions or give us your feedback. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Absolutely.
And do all those great things.
Share it with a friend.
See you in a couple weeks.
Thanks for joining us today as we continue our journey talking about life's many questions.
To stay connected with us, you can follow us at Downey Park Counseling on both Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow Caroline on Instagram at Relatable Caroline. And make sure you tune in next week for our next question.